show of hands, who knows what a New Year's resolution is? Yep, one of the most exciting things about going into a new year is setting goals for how you can better yourself or the world around you for the year to come. It's such a common practice that people have actually made lists about the most popular New Year's resolutions. And we've done some pretty extensive Google research. So right here, right now, I've got the top 5 New Year's resolutions from this past year. Are you ready? Number 1, lots of people think that they played things too safe the last year. And this year they want to get out there and they want to make the most of whatever situation comes their way. They want to go out and visit other people. Number 2, maybe some feel like they spend all their time eating, sleeping, attending school, or maybe just watching YouTube. A new year is a really great time to try something new. Maybe there are people watching right now that are itching to learn how to fold the perfect paper airplane or take gymnastics classes or learn photography. Number 3, everybody knows that kids struggle to stay organized. Here's a tip: if you can't find your pet hamster because all the dirty laundry is on your floor, maybe this year it's time to re-examine your cleanliness. But the truth is also adults grapple with organizing too. Number 4, this one may be a little bit less of a problem for you, but with how much I eat during Christmas, come January, I'm looking into gym memberships. And that brings us to the number 1 resolution made on New Year's, which is exercise more. There's no better time to build muscle and endurance than at the beginning of the year. These are all very admirable goals, right? We could all stand to clean up a little more, get more exercise, or try new things. But there's something else true about New Year's resolutions. See, while millions of Americans set these resolutions, not all of those people actually end up following through with it. What do you think? What percentage of people actually finish the year having completed their New Year's resolutions? Any of you guys want to take a guess? Some of you might be surprised that very few people actually stick to these resolutions. Statistics show that only 8% of people follow through on the goals they set for themselves for the new year. In other words, out of every 100 people, only 8 actually achieve their goals. Which makes me wonder, why is it that so many people start off with these great plans, but so few of them actually succeed? I think the reason people stop working toward their New Year's resolutions are endless, but all the specific reasons can be summarized in 3 words. It's hard work. To accomplish anything worthwhile, you gotta work hard for it. For so many of us, we lose momentum, motivation. We lose the goal because it's too difficult to achieve. But you know what else is hard? Following God. To love God and to love other people in a way that honors Him is tough. However, God knew that this was true, and thankfully the writers of the Bible were inspired to write down several ideas related to working hard, including the verses that we're going to explore today. Many of you have heard of David, the young man who defeated the giant named Goliath. Well, after David was king, he had a lot of kids, and one of his kids was named Solomon, who would become the next king of Israel. And long after Solomon became king, he had a dream, and God told him to ask for anything he wanted. Now, he could have asked for unlimited power and wealth or to live for a really long time, but instead, King Solomon asked for wisdom and discernment to help decide between right and wrong. God granted his wish, and King Solomon became known as one of the wisest people who ever lived. Many of his wise sayings are recorded in the Bible, including most of the book of Proverbs. And some of those famous sayings in the book of Proverbs talk about hard work. Solomon actually talks about an ant in one of these passages. So how many of you have ever stopped to look at how vigorously an ant works? You may not have thought about it, but King Solomon did. Check out what he wrote. You people who don't want to work, think about the ant. Consider its ways and be wise. It has no commandment, it has no leader or ruler, but it stores up its food in the summer. It gathers its food at the harvest time. See, Solomon noticed the hard work of an ant hustling to gather food. He was illustrating the importance of us to be responsible by working hard. See, King Solomon realized that ants make up their own minds to work hard. They're not motivated by an allowance or extra screen time. And their hard work pays off because of all the extra food they have. I mean, ants do whatever it takes to keep their colony safe. And you know what's crazy? They know how to get the job done with only 250,000 brain cells. Now, that may sound like a lot, but God made us with 10 million brain cells. It's plain to see that God has given us what we need to work strong, smart, and creatively. And because He's given much, God expects more of us. But fear not. In this room, we have people who are uniquely wired to accomplish unique goals. I mean, you are determined and incredibly gifted to do God's work. The people that are watching were made in God's image, and when we combine what we've been given with hard work, we can show love to God and to people that God's made. Working hard might look like mowing extra yards to support a friend in the hospital. Sometimes it might look like walking up and straightening your room before your mom asks. It can even look like you helping your little sister put together that massive Lego palace. All we have to do for inspiration is to look to Jesus. When He came to earth, Jesus knew exactly what He needed to do. He lived a perfect life, performed miracles, taught lots of people, and died on a cross for you and for me. Laziness is easy. Working hard is not. Taking the initiative to get the work done instead of waiting for someone to tell you to do something requires effort. It's important to remember God gives us what we need to follow through. And the Bible is full of all of these truths that sometimes use ants as illustrations. God uses these truths to transform our lives. And before we go, I want you to consider this key question. When have you had to work hard? Think about the times in your life when you had to give everything it took to finish a school project or a task at home. How did it feel to accomplish those things? And how do you think knowing that you can work hard can help you in the future? Those are big questions, but some that'll help you so much in life when you begin answering them now. We'll see you guys next time.